All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SACAC, Southern Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. My name is Julian. I am going to be your facilitator for this evening. And this event is actually sponsored by Cambridge Assessment International Education. So a few housekeeping items. If you need to ask any questions, have any questions, we encourage you to do so throughout the entire session. So you don't have to ask a question just to the school that is presenting. We want to encourage you to ask throughout the entire session using the Q&A button. And then your microphone and camera are turned off, so you don't have to worry about any messy hair or anything like that. We're going to make sure we take care of you on that end, but you are free to use that Q&A section. If there are more sessions you want to look at, you can look at the next time slot as well too. And then recordings will be available on the page that you registered on, and that will be up within about a week. So we are going to get started here with our first university, Fordham University.
Wonderful. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Julian, for that introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Maria McMahon-Beelan. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admission at Fordham University in New York City. So at Fordham, we have two campuses in New York City. We have our Rose Hill campus in the Bronx and our Lincoln Center campus in Manhattan. Our Rose Hill campus is about 85 acres. It's in the Belmont neighborhood of the Bronx. So for those of you that have visited New York City or are familiar with the Bronx, we're located right by the Bronx Zoo, the New York Botanical Gardens, and Arthur Avenue, which is the Little Italy of the Bronx. And then our Lincoln Center campus is much smaller. So we have 85 acres in the Bronx and 8 acres in Manhattan. So we take up about 2 city blocks in Manhattan at 60th and Columbus. So we are just walking distance, about a block and a half from Central Park, from Columbus Circle, from Rockefeller Center, from Times Square. Any kind of middle Manhattan landmarks that you can think of are walking distance from our Lincoln Center campus. You can see on this slide just kind of the difference between the architecture. That center picture is Keating Hall at our Rose Hill campus, and the building that's kind of on either side of it in this image is one of the residence halls at our Lincoln Center campus. At each of our campuses, we have 2 colleges. We have Fordham College, which is home of the liberal arts and science majors, and we have the Gabelli School of Business. The vast majority of our academic programs are offered at both campuses. And when students apply to Fordham, they do select a campus and a college when they apply. The only campus-specific programs are our sciences. Our lab sciences are based at the Rose Hill campus, and our performing arts majors, dance and theater, are based at the Lincoln Center campus in Manhattan. If you're not interested in majoring in either of those, then your major will be based at either campus that you choose. So it's more of a personality test of the campus environment that you see yourself in, less so where you can have your major. We also offer 4 years of on-campus housing guaranteed at both campuses too. So if you're looking for an on-campus residential experience, that doesn't rule out one of our campuses. We have about 9,000 undergrads. So about 6,000 of those students are in the Bronx and the other 3,000 or so in Manhattan. So students may choose a bigger or smaller campus community based on what they're looking for as well. In many ways, Fordham offers the best of both worlds experiences. Between our campuses, we have over 200 student clubs and organizations. There's a lot going on campus, but there's so much obviously going on in New York City as well. For students that spend their time at the Rose Hill campus, you can take classes at both campuses, but you will kind of call one campus your home for all 4 years. And the Rose Hill campus is about a 25-minute train ride away from Grand Central. So even though it's what many people think of as a traditional college campus environment, it's still really easily accessible to all that Manhattan has to offer. Students could certainly spend all 4 years at Fordham not taking advantage of anything in New York City because there's enough going on campus. And they could also spend all 4 years not doing anything on campus because there's so much going on in the city. But again, it's kind of that best of both worlds experience. And I think our students really create their own student experience, combining what the campus has to offer with what the city has to offer. There's a lot going on academically outside the classroom as well. So there are research opportunities, different professional opportunities through tons of different companies that are based in New York City and have Fordham alumni working for them. And we also have study abroad opportunities as well. So we have our own sites in London, Grenada, Spain, and Pretoria, South Africa. Our most popular program is definitely our London program, which is an excellent complement to New York City in terms of being a global hub. We're also the Jesuit University of New York. So Fordham is one of 28 Jesuit colleges and universities in the United States. There's over 50 Jesuit high schools in the country as well. And there are 3 tenets of Jesuit education that really define all that we do at Fordham. The first is magis, which translates to more. So this idea that we are encouraging our students to strive for more, to seek out more in all that they're doing. The next is cura personalis, which translates to care of the whole person. So we want our students to not just develop inside the classroom over their 4 years, but also personally, spiritually, socially, and professionally. And last but not least is hominis pro aliis, which translates to humans for all. In Jesuit education, more commonly translates to men and women for others. This idea that we're part of communities greater than just ourselves. In terms of applying to Fordham, we use the Common App, so commonapp.org. We are test optional this year, and we will be test optional next year as well. Again, you choose a campus and a college when you apply to Fordham, and you can do so on the Common App. Students are automatically considered for merit-based scholarships when they apply, and they are required to submit the FAFSA to be considered for need-based scholarships. Fordham has not been open for any on-campus visits since early March of 2020. We certainly hope to reopen as soon as it's safe to do so in New York City, but I encourage you to explore our many, many virtual visit options. You can connect with current students. You can do guided virtual walking tours. There are a ton of options to learn more about what Fordham has to offer and how it fits into your college search process on our website. So thanks so much for joining us. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have in the chat box.
Thank you, Fordham University. And we are gonna let Clayton State start getting set up. But yes, continue to write those questions in the chat box and make sure that you're taking advantage of these amazing schools that are here with us tonight. So we'll get started with Clayton State.
I had to unmute. That's a great.
You're okay. You're okay. We'll give them a couple seconds to get those questions in.
Thank you. So I'm Miss Johnson, and I also have another recruiter, Darcy A. Harps, with us here to tell you a little bit about Laker Nation. And this is a photo of us. So Clayton State is located about 15 miles from the heart of downtown Atlanta. So we are great for opportunities of internships or just city work-life balance. We're 20 minutes from the International Airport, which gives you the space to travel and go home and come back to campus. We have approximately 7,000 students enrolled, and we have 6 beautiful lakes on campus. So a few points of pride are that we cost about $8,814, so just under $9,000 to attend, and we are valued as one of the best public universities in Georgia. We are a PBI, which is a predominantly Black institution, not to be confused with the HBCU or a PWI. So we have about 66% African-American students, 16% Caucasian students, and then we have about 82% students that are of biracial or any other type of Pacific nationality. We also are 70% women. We have 3 easy steps to apply, and I apologize if the slide is moving. It's on a timer, I believe. Step 1 would just be to complete an online application or in-person application, and you would then pay a $40 application fee. We do accept waivers, and that will waive your application for you. Next, you will want to submit a high school transcript, official high school transcript. And last but not least, you would like to submit your ACT or SAT scores, and that is currently optional because we are test optional due to COVID. So with our freshman admission requirements, you want to first have at least a 2.6 or higher. You will not need to turn in test scores if you're at that GPA range. However, for my students that are at 2.4 range, you can be a regular admit as well, but you don't have to take the ACT or SAT yet, but you want to be in a good sweet spot of that 2.4. For my students that are at the 2.4 through a 2.0 range, I still have something for you. You can be admitted. However, we will invite you to our summer bridge program where you will need to meet our ACT or SAT requirements and come join us on campus in the month of June. So at Clayton State, we have several learning opportunity experiences. We have over 40 undergraduate degrees, 8 graduate degrees, and 8 associate degrees. Some of our most notable programs are going to be our business administration, our supply chain demand program. We have dental hygiene, we have nursing, film study is a big thing at Clayton State because Georgia is the Hollywood of the South. We also have integrative studies for my babies who can't really pick one thing. You must have it all. We can integrate 2 or 3 majors. Last but not least, we have teacher education. Here at CSU, we love for our students to study abroad, get some outside of the classroom learning. Some of our business students have studied in Greece and Holland. Our biology students have been to the Bahamas. And at Clayton State, you can go for not just a semester, you can do a week, you can do 2 weeks, you can even go for a month. So you have various options. Now I want to talk about where some of our alums work. We want to know what's your return investment on becoming a part of Laker Nation. So as you can take a look right quick, at quick glance, some of our computer science graduates are doing great things at MailChimp, at CNN. Our archival study students are at Chick-fil-A or the Fox Theater doing amazing things. And of course, we have to highlight our educators who are right in Henry County with us and right in Clayton County doing amazing things. Now we want to talk about where you will lay your head. So we have a suite style freshman dorm. There are 4 students to a suite. However, each student has their own room. This is perfect for COVID or the pandemic, or if you're just an introvert, you get your own room, even though you share a living room and a restroom with one other student. So there's 2 restrooms in each suite. We give you a common area, and we do provide furniture for you upon having a private room. You also get wireless access, laundry facilities, and student access to a tutorial center inside of your dorm. That all comes in the cost of tuition. And lastly, I want to point out that we do have a Mexican style restaurant located in the freshman dorm as well. Now let's talk a little bit about campus life and all things to do CSU. We do have a fitness center. We have a gaming zone where you can hit the Wii, the table tennis, the PlayStation. We have intramural sports. We have where you can rent a bike and cycle around campus and view all of the beautiful 6 lakes. We do have Greek life and the Divine Nine and MPHC. We also have outdoor recreational activities. You can skydive, you can go swimming, you can go horseback riding at CSU with your roommate. We also want to hit the student activity services. We do have a student health program where we offer personal, group, or couples counseling. We have an IT section. We also have various dining options. So we have about 4 options for you to eat. You can pick what you want that day. Last but not least, we do have a Barnes & Noble inspired or managed bookstore called The Lock Shop. You can get textbooks, materials. You can also get electronic devices. Last but not least, we are a D2 school. We compete in the Peach Belt Conference. We offer Locked in Motion, which is a majorette style dance team we have. We have men's golf, we have cheerleading, we have men and women track and field and cross country, women's basketball, and women's and men's soccer. Here, last but not least, you can screenshot this slide if you would like to contact myself or Dossier Harps. Dr. Harps and I are both not professors, we're recruiters, and we'll assist you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Clayton State. Really enjoyed that. I am going to give a couple seconds for Stetson University to get ready to go. But please continue to put your questions in the Q&A, and you can message any of our institutions that are on here with us throughout the entire session. And we'll give it over to Stetson University.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm actually the Associate Director for Undergrad Admissions. I always tell everyone that's a really fancy title. It just means that I sit on the Faculty Admissions Committee and actually get to read every application that comes into Stetson. One of my favorite things to tell people about Stetson is we are a big, small school. And then they look at me like I'm crazy and I don't understand contradictory words. Let me tell you why we're a big school and a small school simultaneously. So I say we're a big school in the sense that we have big offerings that you typically see at state universities, at the much, much larger institutions, but we're actually a pretty intimate student body. We have about 3,100 undergraduate students and about 1,200 graduate students here on campus. That being said, we actually rank in the top 10% of colleges in the country for cultural diversity. In fact, we represent in just 3,100 students, 45 states, 64 countries, and 4 territories. We are what's called a residential campus, meaning the majority of our students live on campus, even if they're local. Normally, we're about a 60-40 split between in-state and out-of-state. This year, as a result of COVID, we shifted a little bit more, have a little bit more Floridians, but traditionally we're about a 60-40 split between in-state and out-of-state. One thing I want to point out is our location. We're located in the city of DeLand, which if you haven't heard about it, that's okay. We're about 30 minutes west of Daytona Beach and about 45 minutes northeast of Orlando. Our location is actually one of my favorite things because we're perfectly centered where we are in a more suburban community, but there's a lot of stuff to do because we're in the downtown of the city of DeLand, but we're driving distance from 2 very major cities. So I tell everyone, you're really close to a lot of those activities, but you're not going to be distracted by a lot of those activities. And then one really cool thing about the city of DeLand is we're actually a skydiving capital in the world. It's one of the top drop zones in the entire Northern Hemisphere. So it's such a really cool thing to put DeLand on the map. Now at Stetson, we are really focused on the students' intellectual development. This is where I say that we're a small school in the sense that we want to create an environment that's very academically intimate. Our classes are typically about 20 students or less. I even tell students, even at your freshman 100 level courses, if you see a class over 30, I would be shocked. We are doing in-person classes and we have been able to do so since fall of 2020, mainly because we've never dealt with any overcrowding. So for us, we just reduced our class sizes a little bit more, enforced masks, and we do frequent testing, but we've been able to do almost a fully in-person experience, and we're planning to do so for next year as well. Now, 95% of our faculty hold terminal degrees. The reason that's a really big thing we highlight is because you are only taught by faculty at Stetson. There are no teaching assistants or grad assistants who ever teach a class. They actually are just here to be tutoring support for the faculty. So even in your freshman 100 classes, you're going to be interacting directly with your professors. We do have over 106 programs. This is where I say, again, like a really big school, there's a lot of things you can study. I would keep you here all night if I talk about all of them. The things I want to highlight are that we are really known for our College of Law. In fact, we rank #1 in the country right now for trial advocacy and #3 in the country for legal writing. So that's definitely a big draw, especially for a lot of our students in the Northeast. Also, our School of Business Administration, both our undergraduate and graduate, are in the top 5 rankings in the Southeast. Love to point out that we have what's called the Roland George Investments Program under the School of Business Administration, where students actually work with $4 million of real money in the stock market, and they manage the portfolio. So it's amazing experiences, but of course, over 100 different areas of study, anything that you want is probably represented in our academia. Now, moving on, again, calling us a big school, there's a lot of stuff to do here. 3,100 students, but there's over 140 clubs and organizations. We have a pretty active Greek life, 17 different Division I sports. That's something I always want to highlight to people. We are D1, even though the student population is 3,100, we're actually one of the smallest D1 schools in the country. So if you want the big school experience, you want the pep rallies, you want the school spirit, the homecoming, the football games, everything you associate with D1 athletics, you can get that at Stetson, but not sacrifice an intimate academic setting. So I love to highlight that because it's both big and small school all in one. And then study abroad is a really big thing at Stetson. In fact, 65% of our students will study abroad at least once, and about 40% will study abroad 2 or more times. The reason so many students take advantage is we offer multiple scholarship programs to make study abroad either free or very discounted, as well as tuition exchange programs. And we offer a variety of ways to do it. 5-day trips, 2-week trips, 6-week semester, full year. One of our most popular is Innsbruck, Austria. That's actually a trip that's sponsored by the School of Business, but any student can go on it. They spend 6 weeks doing a cultural study of Innsbruck, Austria, which to me sounds like the most amazing amazing dining experience ever. I love it. I always ask if they want a chaperone, and I have yet to be invited. I do want to let you know we're very focused, though, ultimately on student success. Yes, you want to have a great college experience. Yes, you want to enjoy yourself, but we want to make sure that you're successful. So we take it a step further and actually make a promise to students that we put our money where our mouth is. We promise you will graduate in 4 years or less. We don't overcrowd, so there's not an issue with getting the classes you need when you need them. So we can actually guarantee you will graduate in 4 years or less, as long as you don't drop all of your classes and run away. We also guarantee access to internships, faculty student research, senior research, where you're doing your own graduate level thesis as a senior in college, and public performance if you're within the School of Music. Because of that, we have a 91% post-grad success rate. 91% of our students are either in graduate school or working in the field for which they studied within 6 months of graduation. So definitely really high success rate from our students. Now, I do want to let you guys know some important deadlines. I know we have students of all different grade levels right now. If you are a senior, we have actually closed our early decision and early action deadlines, but we still are accepting under regular decision. We are on a wait list, but we are still admitting students. Typically, if you are applying for federal aid, we do let students know, get the FAFSA in early. Just like most accredited universities, we do have extra funds, but they typically are first come, first serve when it comes to need-based. So we definitely recommend applying early and getting the FAFSA in early so that we can offer that additional aid to our students. In addition to that, we do offer, I want to point out, merit-based scholarships. When you apply, you're automatically considered for a merit-based scholarship, but then we offer an assortment of other scholarships that you can apply for based on your major of interest, if you're involved in community service, if you are involved in what we call the well-rounded student profile, where you're in athletics, music, and academics. So definitely a lot of different scholarship programs in addition to need-based aid programs at the school. But I do want you guys to explore. Right now, we are open for visits. I do want to emphasize that. We've actually been safely open since June. We have a lot of safety protocols. We are not doing walk-in appointments. You do have to set up an appointment, and everyone wears a mask while they're here, even if you're in the parking lot. So we are doing visits around the campus, but we're also doing a ton of virtual events, live meet and greet with faculty, live meet and greet with current students. Every member of our admission staff is actually offering private Zoom sessions, which we can do in the evenings and on weekends to make sure that you and your family get all of your questions answered. And then if you are an underclassman, we're doing a summer engagement series where you can actually take college prep courses over the summer completely free of charge. So definitely screenshot that website, stetson.edu/visiting, to see more of what we have to offer. But that being said, I'm so excited to be here in great company with some awesome schools. Please ask your questions. I'm thrilled to answer them. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Stetson. And yes, please answer or ask those questions. You've got a wealth of knowledge here for each and every one of these schools. So it would be a delight for them to answer those for you. We're going to give it over to Miami University in Oxford, and we're going to let them get set up. But yeah, can't encourage enough that those questions are so important for you at this time in the college search process. So we'll give it over to Miami University, Oxford.
Alrighty, good evening, everyone. My name is Hannah Stone. I'm the Senior Assistant Director for Regional Enrollment, representing the Southeast region for Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. So Miami, if I can get my screen to go to the next slide here. Miami calls ourselves the brains of a big university with the heart of a small school. So statistic-wise, we are still considered to be a mid-size institution with an undergraduate population of a little over 17,000 students. However, we do share the campus with a little over 2,000 graduate students. So campus is really geared towards the undergraduate student experience and undergraduate student success. We offer over 120 different majors across 5 academic colleges. We do see a lot of interdisciplinary work between those schools as well. So just know that based on your major, you are not confined with taking classes within one particular area of the university. We do encourage interdisciplinary learning, and that is a highlight of the Miami University experience. We are located in the town of Oxford, Ohio, which is your typical college town, about an hour southwest of the city of Cincinnati. So if you are looking for that college town experience, Miami as well as Oxford can definitely check a lot of those boxes. We have a very close campus community here. We have over 600 different student organizations, and all of our classes on campus are taught by professors. So this really does allow our students to get to know who is teaching their classes, and in turn, our professors really get to know who their students are. So if there's any recommendations that they can make on future classes or connections that they can give students for research opportunities or internships, our students definitely have access to a wealth of information. We are ranked among some notable institutions for being a top 5 institution for undergraduate student teaching. So I mentioned on the previous slide that it is your professors who are teaching your classes on campus. Our average class size in all of our academic departments is 30 students. So as you go through your time at Miami, those class sizes are going to get smaller. So that really does allow, again, our professors to get to know who their students are. And in turn, our students really do get to make the most out of their academic experience with us. Just some general fast facts with our accepted student profile. This past year, we were test optional for the class starting with us in fall of 2021. We do not have any updates currently as to how fall of 2022 admission applications are going to look in terms of test optional. But my best advice to you is definitely to keep checking our website. Once we make a decision on that, we will definitely let our interested students and families know. We also attract students from across the country as well as the world. So while we are located in a small Ohio town, definitely know that you are not going to be the only student from out of state on campus. So because of our national draw, again, this really does enhance our campus community because our students really are sticking around on campus to get involved in clubs and student organizations. We do offer merit scholarships based on academic coursework that you are automatically considered for with your application to Miami. So we do utilize the common application, and this past year, as we were test optional, you will see that we just list GPAs. So we did a very deep dive into your academic history this past year for our application evaluation. And again, we were not looking at test scores for every single student that applied. So the scholarship amounts that you see listed up here are automatically renewable over the course of 4 years. So just know that once a scholarship's been awarded to you, you simply have it until each year until you graduate. This also ties into our 4-year guaranteed tuition promise. So this means that we actually lock in the tuition rate for each of our incoming classes for all 4 years that they are students at Miami. So this means that we're not going to be raising tuition on you once you start classes with us. Rather, you know pretty quickly offhand what your merit scholarship is going to be, as well as what your financial aid package is going to look like. And that picture will not change for all 4 years. So it really gives you the opportunity to budget for not just 1 year, but for all 4 years of that college experience. Then some technical terms and kind of fine print on that 4-year tuition promise there. And outcomes. So majority of our students will graduate on time within 4 years or sometimes even sooner. And yes, I know we do have the 2018 rate for our students who were employed or continuing on in their academics that year. That rate actually does not change for us. It's pretty consistent with 96% this year as well. So we have a really amazing career center that will work with you in terms of internship help, but also getting you launched into that first career. In addition, for our students looking at continuing their education in either graduate school or medical school, we also have very competitive acceptance rates in those areas as well. So Miami gives you a very strong foundation for that next step. And here is my contact information. So please be sure to grab it if you have any questions. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me. More than happy to speak with you either in the chat, or if you want to shoot me an email on your own time, that is totally fine too. Thank you.
Thank you, Miami University, Oxford. And before we move on to Purdue University, I just want to say I see the questions and coming in. If there is a particular school that you want to answer your question, make sure that you address them before the question as well, so we could just make sure that your questions are being answered. So while Purdue gets up and running, Just want to make sure that you all feel good about kind of moving forward with the question and answers, and just know that please address those schools before.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Gail Palizzi. I'm the regional representative who lives in Atlanta and works for Purdue. Purdue's a Tier 1 Big Ten research, land-grant research university of about 33,000 students, but really is a big school with a small school feel with an environment of hands-on learning. We're located about an hour from Indianapolis, 2 hours southeast of Chicago. If you're flying from Atlanta area, you would take you about an hour to get to Indianapolis. If you're driving, depending upon where you live, would be about a 9-hour drive. So it's really easy to get to, and shuttles run back and forth from campus. We are located in a really pretty town of West Lafayette. So you have the Wabash River, and then you have Lafayette on the other side. So there are coffee shops, restaurants, rolling hills. It's beautiful. The campus itself is flat, but the area is just really pretty, and they have a lot of different things going on all the time. So this is campus. You can walk at 20 minutes corner to corner. You can ride bikes on it because it's flat. When it snows, you can actually go underground and walk through the tunnels. There are shuttles if the weather's bad. Mostly 20 minutes is, you can walk it, so it's really easy to get around. And then as far as our size, we have, again, 33,000 undergrad students, and we have a big graduate student population as well. Very diverse, all 50 states, 125 countries represented, 5 cultural centers as well. So it's kind of cool within that too. And then when you look at Purdue and you apply to Purdue, you apply to 11 colleges within Purdue, and they host 200 of our majors. So we're known for things like engineering, computer science, aviation, cybersecurity, design programs, business, mass communications, and English, pharmacy, nursing, the vet school, just really great programs. A lot of students like to cross over into them. And as a freshman, you can do research. So we have 2,000 research opportunities, a whole research center, Discovery Park on campus where you can do research. We were currently working on the Mars rover for the Mars rover landing. So that's something that you might be participating in within our school, or different types of things like that. We have an honors college. It's awesome because you really can, live on campus in a nice residential hall there. They do research together. They do study abroad together. Beautiful facility, beautiful building there as well. We have something called Entrepreneurship and Innovation Certificate. So if you're very entrepreneurial, you want to borrow money from the foundry, you have a business idea you've come up with, you want to do that and launch it from our business park, we have a really great program. Students love this program. And then we have a Cornerstone Liberal Arts program. We're really strong in, the STEM areas, but we have a wonderful English program. So if you want, what we do is we combine the two so that you get really the soft skills, that you're really good at writing and really good at communicating. We just got an award for that, which was excellent. And then Degree Plus, because we have 200 majors, and students, it's like a potpourri of stuff that you can choose from. Students like to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You can do that within Purdue, which is excellent. And our career centers, top 3 in the nation. It's excellent. They host a lot of different career fairs, about 34, the largest student-run career fair in the nation called Industrial Roundtable. So it's a great center that you can go to. You can even borrow clothes from their clothes closet. There they have an array of clothes. If you're trying to interview and you need that, it's awesome. But internship, co-oping opportunities are fantastic at Purdue. One of the highlights about us. We have, as far as fun, 1,000+ clubs and organizations, club and intramural sports. We have Big Ten sports, 90 sororities and fraternities if you're into the Greek system, bands and orchestras, the All-American Marching Band, ROTC, all areas of ROTC. And we have a lot of fun things like a Grand Prix, all sorts of traditions and things like that that you can participate in. And 95% of our students live on campus. So it's nice. We have learning communities that you can, be a part of if you want to do that as well. 90% of our students were on campus in August. They did something called Protect, Produce. So the COVID thing didn't really interfere with anything that we did, which was awesome. And then we have wonderful food courts, lots of dining options, things that you're familiar with. We were really excited. We got Chick-fil-A because that's a little taste of home from, at least the Atlanta area anyway. So we have that as well, which is really nice. Wonderful facilities. If you have a chance to visit, it's great. You'll see that. One of the highlights, I'm proud to say that this slide is out of date because we just are now on our 10th consecutive year of Purdue costing the same as it did 10 years ago. So our president, Mitch Daniels, phenomenal. And we have the same cost of attendance, which is great. So it's like getting a scholarship for those students who are there over, the 4 years every year. How do we go about the application process? We have the Common App. We're going to ask 2 Purdue questions. Why Purdue? Why your major? You're going to self-report your grades and test scores and do the essay as well. And when we look at you, we look at what your major is that you've chosen. How well have you done in classes in high school that would reflect how well you will do in the major? Did you challenge yourself in high school and take the right courses for it? Trends in grades. We're holistic reviewers, so we look at every bit of this that you see here. This is important to us. And one of the key things too with 11 colleges within, when you apply to us, there's a drop-down menu. You select the majors from the colleges within, 200 plus majors to choose from. And we tell you to choose 2 majors on the application. So, if we can't admit you to your first choice, we can consider you for the second choice. So that's something I always recommend that students definitely do that. And our deadline dates, November 1st is early action. Complete that and you're automatically, and it's non-binding, and you're automatically considered for our merit-based scholarships, our honors college, and the computer science, flight, or nursing program really requires that deadline date as well. And then if you have any other questions, you can see our regular decisions, January 15th. Here's my information if you want to take a picture, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Purdue University. And we're going to move on to last but not least, Bellarmine. So while she is setting up, just want to say I love the Q&A box lighting up there. So definitely continue to get those questions in and we'll go on to Bellarmine.
Well, hello, and thank you everyone, and welcome. My name is Dia Garcia, and I serve as the Assistant Dean of Regional Recruitment for Bellarmine University. And you see on the screen there a welcome and a pineapple, and that's just representative to who we are at Bellarmine. No matter who you are welcome as a student and a visitor at Bellarmine. Okay. So again, my name is Dia Garcia. I am a regional representative for the university, and I serve most of the states of the students who are present in this presentation. And I do know that there are many students who maybe came onto this session to hear from a particular university, but I do encourage you to listen to all that we have to offer and consider all of your options when you are exploring your institution. I am welcome to answer questions via the chat, but you can also reach out to me personally. My contact information is on the screen. That is my cell phone number. And again, I'm located in Nashville, Tennessee. So at Bellarmine, we are located in Louisville, Kentucky, and it's essentially the best of both worlds because we are located in a large metropolitan area, but we do have a small campus still. We only have about 4,000 undergraduate students that are on campus. We have students can choose from 70 different organizations. Our campus is about 145 acres, which includes about 50 buildings. Many of our students, again, do participate in student organizations, and 22% of our students are part of living learning communities. That just means that they're living in a residence hall and they're taking classes and building a community with those same students so that they're able to grow their connections. 33% of our students are first generation students, which means that they're the first in their family to attend and graduate college. About 19% of our students are student athletes. And then we have a great retention rate of 84% for our second year. So there are many reasons that students do thrive at Bellarmine University, and I am going to talk about some meaningful connections and some transformative experiences that lead to successful outcomes. So as far as meaningful connections are concerned, you as a student at Bellarmine are going to be able to make connections with the students that you're in class with, the students that live in your dormitories, also the faculty and staff that are on campus. Community is something that's extremely important to Bellarmine. Our average class size is going to be no more than 20 students, and the student to faculty ratio is going to be 12 students to 1 professor. As you're walking through the quad on campus, people are going to wave. Right now, of course, they're waving and you can see them smiling even through their mask. And then you're absolutely able again to make those connections. And then those meaningful connections lead to transformative experiences. Here are some of the traditions that we do have at Bellarmine. They're listed at the screen. The picture is from Ball on the Bell. That's an event that we have usually every year in October. That is a costume party that is had on campus. And you can probably see from the theme there, it's Decades Night. We were not able to have this event on this past October, of course, due to the pandemic, but students are absolutely still staying active, whether that be social distancing or virtually. So we got positive rates related to our students and their experiences on campus. And so you can see some of the involvement that they have on the screen there. We are part of Division I sports. So we are really excited that we just transitioned this past summer. We have 20 different sports teams, 10 of those are men and 10 are women. We also have a pep band, a dance team, and a cheerleading squad. So if you are involved in athletics, you definitely have that option to play on the competitive level in Division I sports. And then we also have intramural sports if you just want to stay active and try to stay away from that freshman 15. As I mentioned, the meaningful connections do lead to transformative experiences. You have options inside and outside of the classroom to make your experiences at Bellarmine. We have an excellent study abroad program, who of course is on pause right now due to the pandemic, but we have over 200 different program partner sites in 64 different countries. And something that we're really excited about are our successful outcomes. We understand that one of the main reasons that students pursue higher education is so that they can graduate and become gainfully employed and make positive contributions to society. At Bellarmine, our successful outcomes are at 99%. So that means that 99% of our students, just 6 months after graduation, are either working full-time or they are enrolled in graduate school. And that's something that we're really excited about. We are right now finalizing the statistics for the class of 2020. So these students, of course, graduated in the middle of a pandemic, and our response rate is already at 97%. So again, that's something that we're really excited about. Also, as far as students in Kentucky that go to school are concerned, we have the highest mid-level salary range, and that is at $50,000. For those students who are applying, you can apply on the Common App or directly at bellarmine.edu. We do have a free application, and the only required materials are going to be the transcript and the letter of recommendation. You'll hear from a lot of colleges that they are test optional right now, but that's actually something Bellarmine decided to do previous to the pandemic, because we understand that test scores are not always an indicator of college success. And of course, we do have a pledge to affordability, because that's what's most important to us at Bellarmine. Here are some important dates and deadlines in reference to students' senior year. We do have rolling admissions, so students can continue to apply. Again, my name is Dia Garcia. I pray that you have enjoyed the information that you have been presented tonight, and I hope that you decide to be a part of Knights Nation. I'm happy to answer questions via chat. And again, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Bellarmine. And we are going to just kind of wrap up here. A couple quick notes. are that there's going to be a quick survey with 4 questions that's going to appear once you close your window. And then if you need to check out any of the recordings to make sure that you're able to connect with all of the great individuals who shared on their institutions tonight, you can do that, and that'll be available on the same page that you registered on within about a week. And I hope everybody has a great evening. Take care, and good luck on the college process.